Charles Barkley on behalf of the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe, the splendid scenery of Edgewood Tahoe's golf course. Chuck, before we get to the basketball, what kind of golf did you give the fine people today?
I played very well today, Matt. I had my A game as good as I could have it. It was awesome up here. Played with DeMarcus Ware, but I played well today.
Good. It's good to see. It's a great tournament, and I was out there last year. Happy to see you enjoying the golf out there. Let's get to the basketball now. What was your reaction to the Westbrook-Chris Paul trade?
Well, I think I was a little shocked. I was surprised. I think most people thought he was going to Miami. But, you know, Matt, about 2 or 3 years ago, I suggested that Russell Westbrook switch to the 2 position. So I think that's the only way this team can work. But Russell's got to buy into being the 2 guard and not try to be the point guard, because the ball's going to be in James' hands a lot. So if Russ would dedicate himself to be the shooting guard, I think this team got a chance of working, but it all depends on if Russ's going to buy in and be a 2 guard.
So let's assume that the buy-in's there, because I think that's a lot of the reputation around the league. Like, wait a second, these guys love the ball in their hands. How's this going to work? If it does work, where does this deal put Houston in the Western Conference?
Wow. Let me tell you something. This has been, as you know, the craziest offseason in NBA history. I think people talk about who's the favorite and who's not. They're playing the games. I think that Dallas had a great summer. I saw Utah had a great summer. Obviously, the Clippers and the Lakers had a great summer. But I don't think there's a dominant team in the Western Conference. I mean, New Orleans is going to have a good team. But there's a lot of question marks about those 2 LA teams. You got to remember something. I think Kawhi Leonard is a flat-out stud. I think he's amazing. But he can't load management 22 games in the Western Conference. That won't work at all, because there are no bad teams in the Western Conference. That's the first question I'd ask if everybody say that the Clippers are the favorite. Is Kawhi Leonard going to miss 22 games? That will not work in the Western Conference. Can LeBron and AD both stay healthy? AD has not been healthy a lot. LeBron is getting older. They're not going to be able to take a lot of nights off. So before people start annoying the Lakers and the Clippers as the favorites, I think they need to take a step back and look at Utah, look at Denver. The West is just loaded top to bottom.
Yeah, loaded, and that brings up a good point. You're going to have to start looking at teams now with more depth rather than maybe a 1-2 punch like these teams you just mentioned. Let's talk about Chris Paul for a second. It's widely assumed he's not going to play a game in OKC. Who might benefit from adding a veteran like Paul to their roster?
Well, I think the thing you would have to do, the Milwaukee Bucks, because you got a veteran guy who I really like a lot and respect as a leader, but you have to accept the fact that he's going to be in decline. So he's going to have to play with some really good players so he don't have to do as much. And I think there's some good teams out there, but like I say, he has to accept the fact that he's older. He can't play like he did 5-7 years ago, but he's going to have to play with a really talented team. Because anytime you're a superstar, when you get older, you have to make sacrifice and realize you can't do the stuff that you used to do. Hey, Chris is a smart guy. He's a great player. But he's going to have to be in the right situation with a bunch of very talented players, because I think he's a great leader personally.
So someone could be getting a veteran leader in Chris Paul. And I want to go to the duos for a second. 1993 video game NBA Jam. I was born and raised in Scottsdale, Arizona, so I always played with you and Dan Marley. You guys were the duo, the 2-on-2 team. And now we've got a league full of duos. We've got AD LeBron, KD when healthy and Kyrie, Kawhi and Paul George, and then Harden and Russell. Of those duos, who are you taking as the best duo in the NBA?
Wow, that's a great question. If everybody is healthy, I think you have to go with LeBron and AD. You know, I've said before, I think AD is one of the 5 best basketball players in the world, but he's got to stay healthy. I think him playing with LeBron is going to be a good thing, because LeBron's a workout warrior. And I think AD, at some point, he's going to have to play all 82 games. And that's been the biggest question mark about him, his durability.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.